My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home. Hebrew home, Hebrew home. Good morning, Hebrew home. My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home.
Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Good Morning Hebrew Home. I'm your host for Thursdays, Lisa Murray. So I thought I would start off the show today talking a little bit about nostalgia. So this is something I find that happens for me every summer, is that I start thinking about summers in the past, childhood summers, things I used to enjoy when the summer meant being off from school and not just, a hot walk to my car on the way to work. So one of the things I've been thinking about is the things that I really enjoyed as a child. And one of them is actually now a TV show on Netflix. So I used to read this series called The Babysitter's Club. Maybe your kids, maybe your grandkids read the books. Maybe you did, I don't judge. And I loved those books. They were written by Anne M. Martin, and they're about a group of middle school girls who decided to start their own club, which was also a business, and babysitting for neighborhood kids. And one of the things I really loved about it was it really emphasized the importance of the friendships that these girls have, and also about, coming up with an idea and making it happen and sustaining it. So there's a new show on Netflix. I highly recommend it if you're into things like that. It might be something that your family is watching too. It's really nice. It's very pleasant. It's very easygoing. Conflicts are all resolved at the end. Nothing terrible happens. It's not Game of Thrones. It's the exact opposite. So that's one of the things I've been enjoying. It's felt very nostalgic for me, thinking about, being a little girl and reading those paperback books on my bed. I wonder what sorts of things make you feel nostalgic during the summer. Did you have any special books that you read when you were a kid? Did you have things that you love to do with your family, or go to camp or go out and do things? Call in 2813, let us know, or if you see me, let me know in the hallways. Nostalgic summers. So let's get started. Today is Thursday, July 30th. Today's weather continues to be hot and humid with a high of 92 today and humidity up to 75%, so it's going to be pretty muggy outside. On this day in history, in 1928, George Eastman shows the first amateur color motion picture to guests at his New York house, including Thomas Edison. In 1954, Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, made his professional performance at the Overton Park Shell concert in Memphis, singing "That's All Right Mama" and "Blue Moon of Kentucky" as the opening act for Slim Whitman and Billy Walker. So that's the beginning of an epic journey. 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signs a law officially declaring "In God We Trust" to be the nation's national motto. The law also required that the phrase be printed on all American paper currency, so not that long ago. In 1965, the Social Security Act of 1965 was signed by U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson, which established the nation's Medicare and Medicaid programs financed by higher Social Security payroll taxes. Very important, something that a lot of people here rely on. So a really important piece of legislation. Famous birthdays today. In 1818, Emily Bronte, English novelist for Wuthering Heights, was born in Thornton, West Yorkshire. In 1863, Henry Ford, American industrialist and automaker, maker of the Ford Model T, born in Dearborn Township in Michigan. And in 1924, C.T. Vivian, an American civil rights activist, worked with Martin Luther King, was born in Boonville, Missouri. He just actually died very recently, about a few weeks ago, this year in 2020. And in 1947, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Austrian-American bodybuilder, actor, movies such as Terminator, and politician, he was the 38th governor of California, was born in Thal, Austria. So speaking of birthdays, coming here to the home, we've got some birthdays to celebrate today. In In terms of staff, Patrick from housekeeping is celebrating a birthday today, and residents Jennifer R. and Louise Q. are celebrating birthdays. A happy and a healthy birthday from us here. So today's meal, I am excited. Lunch is something fun and different, and I hope that you will all like this. It's chicken chipotle, white rice, black beans, corn, pico de gallo, and non-dairy sour cream with pears for dessert. For dinner, the soup is Italian vegetables, the entree is vegetable cheese lasagna and garlic bread, and the dessert is vanilla ice cream. So as a reminder, as I said earlier before, if you have any viewer mail, please send us a line. Send us something to 2813. Our mailbox, the red arrow is down today. But you can always send us, call us, 2813, only from a landline here, not from a cell phone. Or if you see your friendly TAP activities person, you can write something down, give them a letter, and we'll read it here on air. So, I am very excited for our next guest, someone I've been trying to get on the show for a while. She's a very sought after guest. So please welcome Deborah Rodriguez. Deborah, hi.
Hello, Lisa. Hi, everyone at Hebrew Home. Good to see you again. Sooner
Than usual. Yes, you're someone they see on their televisions very often. So you're our wellness coordinator here. So tell us a little bit about what that means.
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity. The job wellness coordinator works as a support to the rehab team. And obviously, those of you who participate, you come down and you move, you choose what program you're interested in, and ultimately the program and the activity stimulates you to feel better, mentally, socially, physically. So what we are doing in our wellness programs is reinforcing the basic, everyday mobility of your body, mind, and spirit. That came out good.
Yeah, I like that. Nice little clip there. So yeah, people may have seen you in the past doing exercise programs in the Winter Garden, and now may see you doing those same programs or similar programs on the TV or outside occasionally as well. And just like you said, it's not just working the body, it all works together, and I think that's a really wonderful point of view that you have.
Well, one of the things that's interesting, because I am starting my 7th decade of life. I'm in my 60th year of life right now. And I have been in this industry longer than many of you have been senior citizens. So it's the truth. It's an interesting venue because the concept of wellness you hear it everywhere, but it really has 6 components: spirituality, environmental, social, intellectual, emotional, and physical. The venue that we have here is that we are actually working as a team to provide the resources to support all of those components. And even us staff, just going outside for 2 minutes if something bothers us, and looking at the beautiful environment that we are able to work in. And those of you who live here, our Hebrew Home community, you're able to look outside and just say, it's magnificent. It makes you feel better. So our goal as the team here, regardless of what department we're in, is to make those of us who are residents here and the Hebrew Home community have a positive quality of life each day. And my contribution is to do positive movement through all the other stimuli.
Yes, I think that's wonderful. I think it's such a great way of looking at the work we do here, and I think definitely that's how we think about things in the Hebrew Home, right? It's why we have such a beautiful campus, because that matters. It's why we have exercise classes, because that matters. It's why we care about having music, having social workers to support, why we have the nursing staff that's so wonderful, because there's so many, why we have our religious affairs department, because there's so many aspects to health. And it's important we all play our part, and they all work together too.
It's wonderful how I see the team interacting, and we as staff have to come up with a lot of different ways to keep our community happy and well, whether it's one-on-one, working with your TAP team member because you want to add something to your program, or whether it's a group program. Mm-hmm. So you as our Hebrew Home community have to reach out to us and say, hey, let's do a little more trivia, or why don't you try this type of music? In fact, Larry and Lisa sent me over some interesting music yesterday that I had never heard of before, that I'm hoping to choreograph for one of our programs next week. So we support each other. It's a constant learning, and those of us who live here, you have to help us provide you with some resources. So
you are the experts on you. So we are not the experts on you. So tell me a little bit about what led you here to the Hebrew Home. I know you've worked for the VA. I imagine you have
I have a plethora of background.
Yes, exactly.
But the interesting thing is that I actually have degrees in my background. And people say, oh, you just exercise for a living. But actually, I do therapeutic movement. And I do have undergraduate, BA, MS, that PhD programming where you get there going, should I finish that? Is it going to contribute it? Note that PhD, they say it means piled higher in debt. It does, but it gets you a little higher up into certain doors. But the bottom line for me is, at 7 years old, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And my father was diabetic 7 years prior to me. And he wasn't the best contained diabetic. So my mother, who was very athletic, and still is, my mother's in her 90s now, and yes, still coping with the pandemic and isolation. In fact, those of us here at Hebrew Home have more socialization than she has. It's been very hard for us, the family members. So please appreciate the FaceTime, appreciate the visits from your staff members, because every time I leave my mom, it's tears, and no, it's heartbreaking. But what we do as a community supports you. When I became diabetic, my mother threw me in a pool at 7 years old. I was the only Jewish girl on the Our Lady of Lourdes church swim team. Honest to God, Sunday morning I swam. And she did that because there was another little girl in our elementary school who was a type 1 diabetic. And we kind of met at the nurse's office. So exercise became a means for me to feel better about myself and this disease that was hidden, because I didn't wear an insulin pump. I had to go somewhere and take medication. And then when I didn't feel well, because little kids don't always react well to their medications, or hot weather and taking medication stimulates absorption, it gains self-esteem for me. And those of you who do exercise with me or with your on-floor team members who are doing activities, you feel better. It's not always easy, but you feel better. It releases endorphins. It gives you that little smile within yourself. And that smile that you gain, you share with other people. So it became a little obsession for me. And I continued through my lifetime. I actually graduated high school a year early. I went to school when I was 17. I remember in college when I turned 18, because drinking age was 18 back then. Diabetic kids were not supposed to drink. But I remember the end of my freshman year in college, my father calling me up and saying, "Happy birthday, you're an adult now." I said, "I thought I was an adult when I got my bat mitzvah." He said, "Well, I held on to those years." But that was an interesting story too. But then I continued. I graduated a year early from undergrad, continued from my master's, which I ended up getting my first master's in recreation administration at University of Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
It was really very interesting. And I came home. I was not overwhelmed with Nebraska. But I did come home, and then I got my master's in exercise physiology from Queens College. And I actually wanted to do a Fulbright scholarship. But I couldn't go overseas. I did the final interview, and I couldn't go overseas because of my diabetes. And we're talking several decades ago.
Yeah.
So it was always a humbling thing for me. And I work with communities, and I have prior to here, always worked with communities that understood my disability, because it is hidden until you see it. And many of you have been there when you see me test my blood sugar, or I test before a show and my blood sugar's a little low and I have a juice, because I fortunately can correct myself, that the disease does take a wear on our bodies.
And
So,
I think one of the things that I always think about with you is that you're such an advocate for yourself and for people with type 1 diabetes. I think you really make an effort to normalize it.
that was very well put.
To be like, yeah, this is just a part of my life, you know? Like other people are like, I make sure I have water so I'm not thirsty. You're like, I make sure I have juice, I make sure I check my blood sugar. I think it's very interesting because on the show I was talking about this morning, the Babysitters Club, actually one of the main characters, Stacy, has type 1 diabetes and she wears an insulin pump. And she at first is like hiding it, is very ashamed, doesn't want anyone to know, thinks that if people find out, they're gonna really judge her and feel bad. But spoiler for the episode, people find out and her friends still love her. That's how it works. But I think it is really important to normalize that taking medicine, taking care of yourself, all of our bodies are different bodies and have different needs. And just because they're different from each other doesn't mean one is better or one is less. It just means that they're different and we take care of ourselves in different ways. So I think that that's a really lovely thing that you model, that, yeah, this is normal.
And for those of us in our Hebrew Home community, I say that for staff and residents here, we support each other. And those of us who are living here, we know that you at times need help regardless of what your challenge is. But you just to wake up on the right side of the grass every day and embrace the day and smile and do the best you can with what you can. That's the biggest proactive thing I could say. My mom used to tell me, Debbie, God made you extra sweet. But sometimes I turn sour in her eyes because, you know, I was hers. But we do the best we can, and I hope that you guys continue to reach out. We know that there's the programs here every morning. I get the YouTube show, so I usually can see this at least 2-3 times a week when I'm home. And my husband's go, well, you weren't just there 4 hours ago? I said, yeah, but look what we're doing today. And he's good. That's what they had for lunch. We have a family conversation about what's going on here at Hebrew Home.
See, it's part of a whole community, and the community extends beyond just the physical limits of where we are. So we could talk forever, I think, but I would love for you, if you can, lead us in just a little gentle movement to start our day.
So this is a positive thing that I like to do. Those of you, and many of us here are not Jewish, but we all embrace faith. And Tisha B'Av is today. It's a day of, I don't call it a holiday, it's not a celebration, it's a reflection of the destruction of a temple. And each year, different Jewish communities reflect on things that have not been positive in the past year or years prior. So it's a somber day. And today I am not using music, so those of you who are turning in at 1:30, if you fall asleep, I won't know. But we're going to be listening to bird songs. Just relaxation and yoga. I happen to love this program, which is why I'm a little more sedate now, because I just did a relaxing program. But as you can see, and I always tell you guys, don't cross your legs, because it cuts circulation. I'm going to start by having you sit up as comfortably as possible. And please join me.
I'm going to join you for sure.
Because it feels very, very good. And you're going to sit down as erect as possible. We call this the mountain pose. Placing your hands, palms up on your thighs. Taking a deep breath, inhale, and you're going to hold for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Again, inhale, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Relax your body. Deep breath, inhale, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Deep breath in, inhale, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. You'll find it's easier to do it as we continue. Deep breath in, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, relaxing your heart, relaxing your lungs. Deep breath in and hold. 2, 3, 4. And exhale, look up, palms go out. Inhale in, palms to your stomach. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale out. Head is back. Palms are back. Inhale in. Palms to your stomach. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale back. Head is up. One more time. Inhale in. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Place your palms down on your thigh. Relax your body. Head to one shoulder. Inhale. Head is centered. Exhale. Head to the other shoulder. Inhale. Head is centered. Keep your eyes open. Exhale to the other shoulder. Inhale. Head is centered. And exhale to the other shoulder. Inhale. Head is centered. Taking a deep breath, let your hands roll to your knees and relax your lower back. And just roll back. Inhale up. Holding those knees, chin goes up. Exhale back slowly. Inhale up. Relax your whole body. Let your body breathe. Exhale down, gentle roll of your lower back. As you can see, I really enjoy this. Exhale or inhale. I might have forgotten which one we're doing now. And just stay centered. Turn your palms up. I'd like you to breathe. Bring your elbow tight to your body and let your palm stay rested. Take your other hand and just place it on your fingers. Feel the stretch of your hands. Nice and easy. Relax your hands. Turn your palm down. Place your other hand, if you can, on your fingers. Feel the stretch in your whole hands. Relax your hand. Palm is up again. One more time. Placing your fingers or your palm on your fingers and feel the stretch in your palm. This is your extension move. And one more time. Palm down. Place your hand on your fingers and stretch. Relax your hands down. Bring the other elbow up. Relax your palm. Fingers on your fingers. And just gently place them. Feel the stretch of your fingers. Again, this is your stretch, extension. Now release the hand. Turn the palm down. And this is flexion. You will feel this throughout the back of your hand. Release, palm is up. Place your hand on your fingers, or your fingers on your fingers, right? And feel the stretch. Feels good, right?
Yeah, I can feel it. Even more in this hand.
And take it, because we're righties. Take the palm down and place it down. And gently place your palms back on your thighs. Close your eyes for a minute. Take a deep breath in. And just relax and exhale. So ladies and gentlemen, when you're trying to relax and center yourself, just sit back for a few minutes and take that deep breath in and hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. If you can remember to do that, it's actually lymphatic breathing. If you can remember to do that, just for 3 minutes a day, take a deep breath in, hold for 4, and exhale. You'll start to relax your lungs, you'll start to relax your heart, lower your blood pressure, and just, I would say, synchronize your body. I do this when I come in and I hear Larry playing. I sit down with all my bags and just breathe for a few minutes. It helps me, and I think it will help you too.
It was so wonderful, Deb. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you all enjoyed that as much as I did. I feel so relaxed now. It's going to be a whole different day for me now.
She's going to be sitting with me at 8 a.m. listening to Larry.
You're like, that's the way to start.
Yes,
Well,
thank you.
Deborah, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for leading us through that. I hope you all really enjoyed that.
Thank you all for having me.
Yes, thank you so much.
Till we meet again.
Till we meet again, which I will let them know when you'll meet again. So thank you so much. So, what a wonderful show we had today. So tune in later today for Wellness with Deborah at 1:30 and On a Musical Note with Peter at 2:30. If you missed any portion of today's show, it will be replayed on Channel 88 at 6:30, and you can find all of our episodes on YouTube. So we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel.
Hebrew home, good morning, Hebrew home. My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew